agonizing pain.
I think I might
Weaklings.
bring some of them over there. All of them are walking on the same direction.
You will have to battle your way through this cesspit on your own.
But the tricky part about POS is the first part. It's not always easy to, you know, get to the first boss without pulling ads. But then again, it happens sometimes.
I'm heading over there, deal. I might bring some mobs.
No problem. I'm perfectly ready.
Yep, the dragon.
Okay, bring it to us.
Or at least the proto drake, sorry, not the dragon. Ah.
So the Prodrake has Frost Breath, so if it ever gets pulled, it's important to make sure that it's not facing the group, else it uses the breath on all the group members. Now, before
Unfortunately,
we
his
pull the
skill...
first boss, we have to...
Sorry.
Hmm?
Unfortunately, he can't be interrupted. That frost breath.
Can it be interrupted? I'm not sure, I've never tested myself.
I just did with my wind shear. It did not get
Uh,
interrupted.
okay then. I'm gonna big pull this time, so we can easily get rid of these ads before we pull the first boss. They put acid everywhere, so...
Just to avoid unnecessary wipes.
Whenever these ads fall below 10% health, they start casting a spell that basically makes them explode. We should either kill them before they cast the spell or simply interrupt it, else if they explode they deal massive group-wide damage. This one is casting Blight Bomb, but I can easily stun and just get rid of the spell. And now the boss. This boss is a little bit tricky because the spells it uses are slightly random. First of all, it places puddles on the ground, so the tank simply moves the boss away from them. And then every once in a while there's an interval. Every once in a while it goes on a phase where it casts one of the two unique abilities. We'll see which one it casts first. Okay, now it's casting one of those unique abilities. First we need to run away from it because it's Poison Nova. Then, well, the pally didn't move, so he immediately got one shot. Another spell, which it will cast in a few seconds. Again, we have the poison, so... Okay, now it's casting Pursuit. It targets one random player. It's targeting Anza. Anza needs to run away. It walks very slowly, so it's super easy to kite it around. But if you ever get hit, it almost immediately kills you. So you need to make sure that it doesn't reach you. Alright. Pursuit has ended, so we can continue damaging the boss. There's one more ability that it can cast. Yes, it's casting it right now. Explosive Barrage. It spawns these small bubbles on the ground. These bubbles get larger and larger and then explode and deal arcane damage to anyone standing close to them. We basically just try to,
Ow.
run around and make sure that we don't take damage from multiple bombs at the same time. I mean, you will take damage no matter what, but you can try to minimize it. We've had some casualties, but, well, they're low geared, and it's expected. Again, we have Barrage, so we have to...
Another one. Run.
Yeah, it's casting Pursuit, so it's going to target a random player.
It's me.
And
Yeah.
it's targeting you. There's one thing I can do, and that's casting a Hand of Protection on the targeted player. This way, the boss simply goes back to the tank, but since it's still in that Pursuit state, it deals a lot of damage.
Why should the Banshee Queen spare your
I'm going to rest the Paladin.
I'm rushing the Hunter.
What you seek is in the Master's lair, but you must destroy Tyrant.
Okay,
I mean the Rogue. Sorry.
let's buff them up and we can continue.
Nice.
Find Frostmourne. It holds the truth.
Frostmourne? The Lich King is never without his blade. If you are lying to me,
I swear it's true. Please don't kill me. Worthless gnat. Death is all that awaits you. This way. We're about to mount an assault on the Scourge Lord. No!
Oh. Some ghouls fell down.
Do not think that I shall permit you entry into my master's sanctum so easily. Pursue me if you dare.
a fitting end for a traitor. Come, we must free the slaves and see what is within the Lich King's chamber for ourselves.
Conversion beam.
So we have one extra DPS now. Okay, there is a portal. Let's summon him, then we can continue with ease. Okay, Klee. And
our sated is gone, so we can use Bloodlust on the last boss.
right. So this boss is quite fun, I must say. There's an achievement for it as well. So here's how it goes. As soon as you start the fight, the boss has this aura called Permafrost, meaning that as soon as you pull, for every, I think 3 seconds or 2 seconds, the entire party gets a debuff called Permafrost. So it just deals, frost damage to everyone. It also places these Saronites on the ground. One Saronite is on the stairs because someone was standing there. If we hide behind the Saronites, we can clear off all the stacks that we have gathered, and we have to do that, because if the stacks go above a certain number, it will be nearly impossible to heal. So everybody managed to reset their stacks, and now we continue. The boss swaps his weapons based on the HP he has. He's jumping to the other forge he's forging a new weapon now. He's forging a mace. It's basically deals either more. It just basically adds up to its damage. That's all. That's what it does. Now it's casting Deep Freeze on a random player. This player will get frozen in about 10 seconds, and when he does get frozen, he also receives a pick of frost damage.
can't reach anyone. The rogue is dying.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
I am dead.
And the boss is also down. No problem, I'll rest you.
I got you. I pressed accidentally.
Okay then.
I didn't realize he was already dead.
I'll rest the rogue so we can continue.
Oh, sorry.
We've got one boss left, but an army of ads to kill until we get there.
Did you buff something on the rogue?
I use G-Bug.
I mean, before. Well, he almost died, but he still lived.
I use Lion Hands
There.
to instantly heal him to full HP, but Lion Hands has 15 minutes cooldown, so probably that's the last Lion Hand you'll see from me until the end of this dungeon. So these ads are rather tough. We have a flame bearer among these ads. This flame bearer, during the fight, suddenly jumps to a random location and then starts channeling this ability that deals fire damage until it's interrupted. So we usually start with flame bearer.
Sorry, dude. I need mana afterwards.
Okay, we can pause before the next pull. We can pause. Get all the mana you need and we can continue. You can also place the Mana Totem if you have it. Good. I'm also gonna stand close so I can also restore a bit of mana. Shall we proceed?
I am using fire resistance totem as well. If that helps.
Yeah, sure. This time we have, okay, one is already channeling, so I'm gonna use Holy Wrath to stun them all together. You can also place Cleansing Totem because they, well, apply a disease debuff, and Cleansing Totem automatically dispels them.
Cleansing totem.
This is the army of the skeletons. Well, the Cold Wraith, they cast Frost abilities and they can be interrupted, whereas the Warriors, Fallen Warriors, they reduce the armor of their target, that is usually the tank. So after a while, the tank will have 50% less armor, meaning that they will take more physical damage. But then again, these are mobs, so they don't matter much. It simply means that it cannot easily be tanked by a DPS. It has to be a actual tank handling these ads. A DPS with 50% less armor will easily, die to the physical damage.
Is that the Sundering Armor skill by warriors as well?
Sorry?
Is that the Sundering Armor that was supposed to be for warriors?
Yes, Sunder Armor is a warrior ability. I believe there are 3 classes that can reduce the armor of the target. One is Warlock with a Curse, the other one is Warrior with Thunder Armor, and the third is Rogue with Expose Armor. But among the abilities I mentioned, Thunder Armor is the one used the most because I think the duration is also I mean, it can be refreshed by other warriors as well. If one, let's say, if one places 5 stacks, then the other warrior uses Thunder Armor again, it basically it doesn't reset it off, but it just stacks up. Now we enter this tunnel phase. There are these like patches on the ground. We shouldn't get hit because we don't want to get hit by the. Do you need mana? No. I mean, we're not gonna need much healing on the way. This is a safe spot where I'm standing. We usually, I mean, if the tank is geared enough, we usually pull all the half of the ads, let's say, ads of the tunnel. Up to this safe spot, we pause here, kill everything, and then continue until the other end of the tunnel. So I'm gonna pull a large group of ads, try to catch up without getting hit by these. Missed a few. Well, the achievement for this dungeon says, get to the other end of the tunnel without anyone taking damage from the ice falling from the ceiling. Usually, I mean, there are easy ways to get the achievement, but usually we assign one player to go inside, gather the ads, and come out. So rather than fighting the ads inside the tunnel, we'll pull them outside of the tunnel. That's one of the approaches, but there are other ways to get the achievement. Okay, Resto Rogue.
Oh.
And the last boss, Tyrannus. So, once we start encounter, the dragon, Rhymefang that is, will fly above us. We won't be fighting Rhymefang directly, but Rhymefang will help the boss, that is Tyrannus, throughout the fight. What it does is, first of all, Rhymefang places a debuff on a random player. If this random player heals anyone, the boss also gets healed. If this random player damages the boss, the boss's target, which is usually a tank, also receives damage. So basically, the one with the debuff should not heal at all, because otherwise the boss gets healed. But if it deals damage to the boss and the tank is geared enough, it shouldn't really cause any problem. But if the tank is rather low and the DPS is like high geared, for the sake of the tank, the player should stop the DPS until the debuff is gone. And here we go. Yes, you can bloodlust. Rhymefang would place this like patch of ice on the ground constantly. If we move the boss over this icy zone, the boss gets slowed, and it's not just getting slowed, the boss also receives frost damage. So basically the dragon is actually dealing damage to the boss simply with the patch that it creates on the floor. When the boss is enraged, I mean the enrage is gone now. It's called let me see if unholy power. So when the boss gets unholy power, it deals massive damage. If the tank simply kites the boss over the ice, well, there won't be any damage taken. So there won't be any need for healing either. Someone also gets this arrow above a random player gets it. That player will get frozen, and it will also freeze nearby players. For instance, the rogue just got the debuff, but he managed to run away, so that he would be the only one getting frozen. That's also one of those spells that Rhymefang casts on the players. And that's about it, really. Again, the boss applies the debuff on the rogue. If the rogue deals damage to me, now Anzo, you're about to get frozen.
Oh.
The warlock was standing close to you, or rather you were standing close to him. Anza, don't cast any spell, you have the debuff, you have the brand. I'm gonna kite the boss over the ice.
0. Okay, I'm good to go.
And it's nearly done.
I was busy healing.
That concludes POS.